This is the Jasion Thunder Electric Bike. It has that tough utility vibe that makes you want to throw bags on the rear rack and just go. Before riding, I noticed something odd in the listing though. The motor is described a few different ways. 750 watt peak in one section, 1,500 watts or even higher in others. On the bike, it's a rear hub motor, not a mid-drive, and the behavior matches a hub setup. That mismatch in the spec sheet had me cautious from the start, so I paid extra attention to how it actually rides. On looks and feel, the frame is a step-through, which means the top tube is low and easy to swing a leg over. At 82 pounds, this is a heavy e-bike, but the weight helps it feel planted. The paint on my unit looks fine from a few feet away, but up close, I can see welding that, in my opinion, isn't pretty. Beads look uneven and a bit minimal in some joints. I also found a scratch on the top of the handlebar post that looked like it happened before shipping. Not a deal breaker for function, but it doesn't scream premium finish. The 7-in-1 control switch by the grips is intuitive. The LCD is bright in direct sun, and I like having the horn and turn signals on the bar. The headlight throws a wide but very thin beam, kind of an underscore line, so it lights a lot of road side to side, but not much vertical depth. At higher speeds, that made me slow down at night because dips and bumps are harder to read. On my bike, the rear light wiring was tighter than I'd like, so I rerouted it to avoid tension on the connector. From my experience, the ride is fun on flat roads and packed paths. With pedal assist, the Thunder jumps to 20 miles per hour quickly and cruises past 28 miles per hour if I keep spinning. The cadence sensor is basic but predictable. PAS 1 and 2 are mellow, 3 to 5 add punch. Torque is rated at 85 Newton meters. That's a measure of twisting force. In practice, it feels strong off the line, but more like a peak hit than sustained power. On a long, steep climb, the kind of 10% hill that tests legs and motors, I had to help more than I expected. It didn't stall, but it slowed and felt stressed with a heavier load. On rolling terrain, it's great. On true steep grades, it's average for a budget fat tire hub bike. Braking is where I had to do the most work. The bike uses dual 180mm hydraulic discs. For anyone new, hydraulic brakes use fluid to push pistons in the caliper. When everything's bled correctly, they give strong, consistent bite. Out of the box, my levers felt a bit mushy, and the initial bite wasn't there. Stopping distance was longer than I'm comfortable with at 30 miles per hour. I bedded the pads in properly and got some improvement, but I still wanted a firmer lever. I bled the system and swapped pads to a higher friction compound. After that, braking was acceptable, but I'd still like more bite at the lever. If you're new, pad bedding is just controlled stops from speed to transfer material to the rotor. It's a must on any new bike. If your levers feel spongy, a bleed may be needed. Range depends a lot on rider weight, speed, and assist level. The battery is 48 volts, 18 amp hours, which equals 864 watt hours. Think of WH as the size of the fuel tank. Riding mostly in Pass 2 with light pedaling at 15 to 18 miles per hour, I can clear around 35 to 45 miles. If I push faster or climb more, that number drops. Baby it on eco with a lighter rider and smooth roads, and you can stretch closer to the higher claims. But everyday mixed riding is more modest. Charging from near empty takes me 7 to 8 hours. The app is handy for tracking miles, checking battery percentage, turning lights on and off, and locking the bike electronically. I like the lock as a deterrent, but I still remove the battery with the key when I leave it outside for long. The step-through frame is easy to live with, and the fat tires are comfortable on cracked pavement, dirt lanes, and even light snow. The front suspension helps on potholes, but this isn't a downhill bike. Aggressive trail hits still come through. Key features that stand out for me are the step-through convenience, the fat tires for comfort and traction, the clear display, the integrated signals, and the removable 864 watt-hour battery with a real key lock. The payload claim is 400 pounds, which is great for bigger riders or cargo. In my opinion, the overall ride feel is stable and confidence-inspiring at medium speeds, and it shines as a daily utility e-bike on city streets and mixed paths. The UL 2849 labeling on my unit for the electrical system gave me extra peace of mind on battery safety, and the wiring harness looks sealed better than some budget bikes I've owned. It's perfect for riders who want a rugged, fast-feeling commuter that can handle poor roads, gravel shortcuts, and weekend errands with a rack and bags. From my experience, it's also good for taller riders, or anyone who appreciates a spacious cockpit and big tires smoothing out chatter. I'd recommend this for people who don't mind doing a little setup work. Bedding brakes, checking rotor alignment, snugging ults, maybe even bleeding the brakes if the lever feel isn't there. If you're brand new to bikes and you expect a zero-maintenance experience, this may be frustrating. The weight is real, so stairs and car racks are a chore. And while the motor has pop, it's not a hill climb monster with a heavy load. Keep expectations realistic. There are a couple of caveats I need to call out. The listing has conflicting specs on motor power and even calls the drivetrain mid-drive in one spot, which it isn't. That kind of inconsistency creates confusion and hurts trust. My frame welds don't look refined, and I saw the same cosmetic scratch on the bar post that other owners have mentioned, which tells me the factory still needs to tighten quality control. I've also seen community posts about more serious out-of-box issues on other units. I didn't experience anything catastrophic, but I strongly suggest a full safety check when you unbox. Torque the major bolts. Inspect the wheels and rotors. Verify the headset is tight. Check cable and wire routing, and test the brakes thoroughly before your first real ride. If you aren't comfortable with that, a local shop checkup is money well spent. In conclusion, the Jasion Thunder gives you a big battery, a fast hub motor feel, fat tire comfort, turn signals, and a practical step-through frame at a price that undercuts a lot of competitors. It also asks you to be a bit of a mechanic. The brakes needed attention to meet my standards. The headlight beam pattern is wide but shallow, and quality control isn't on the same level as premium brands. If you're mechanically confident and you like to tune your setup, there's a capable, fun platform here for commuting and mixed-terrain rides. If you want a bike that's perfect right out of the box with no fuss, I'd steer you towards something with tighter factory QC, even if it costs more. If this video helped, hit subscribe and drop your questions or your own experience with the Thunder in the comments. Thank you for watching.